we're going to be making some fun cupcakes for springtime. Let's get started. Before we start, we're going to be using a lot of fancy baking tips, but you can buy kits like these at your local grocery store for pretty cheap. For this recipe, you'll need white cake mix of any kind and whatever it calls for on the back.
You can also use your own recipe, but we're just using a box mix because it's easier. You will need 3 eggs according to our box mix, oil, and water.
Also, any kind of cupcake liners that you want, we just have some silicone ones that are shaped like flowers. First thing, you're just going to open your cake mix and put it into a mixing bowl.
Today we're using this KitchenAid stand mixer, but you can also use a hand mixer or even a wooden spoon, whatever you prefer.
Be sure to throw it in the garbage as you go, so at the end you don't have as big as a cleanup to do.
And don't forget to preheat your oven.
Ours says to preheat to 350 degrees.
So while I'm cracking the eggs, Joyce is going to put in the oil and the water.
2 tablespoons.
And when you're cracking eggs, you should put it in a separate bowl before you put it in the actual mix, because there could be shells and then you might not be able to see them.
If you do get a shell in your mix, the shells like to magnet to each other, so you can use just the rest of your shell to scoop it out. It works pretty well. Two tablespoons of oil.
So now that I've cracked the eggs and there are no shells, I'm going to pour it into the mix.
You're now going to blend all the ingredients together until it forms like a batter. While it's mixing, you can get your cupcake tin ready. Be sure to check it periodically to make sure it doesn't overmix.
What I like to use to scoop the batter into the tin is just a cookie scoop, but you can use whatever you want, just a spoon or anything, but it just makes it easier.
A nice way to make it uniform is to just use an ice cream scoop. The best way to clean your mixing utensil is to lick it.
She's not lying.
Oh no, I got it on my nose. I don't know what to do.
Paper towel.
Okay.
Now we're going to be making a buttercream frosting for cupcakes that have already been cooled from a recipe we found online.
For this recipe, we need half a cup of solid vegetable shortening, half a cup, which is 1 stick of butter, which is softened, so we just left it in the sun for a little over an hour. 1 teaspoon clear vanilla extract, but I don't think it matters whether it's clear or not. And 4 cups sifted confectioner's sugar, and 2 tablespoons milk, and we're using 2% milk.
But it doesn't really matter.
So let's get started with the icing. First, we're just going to measure out all our ingredients. Do we go to montage or something?
Yep. So it says, in a large bowl, beat shortening and butter with an electric mixer until light and fluffy.
And we're going to be using our KitchenAid stand mixer again.
But you can use a hand mixer if you want. And I would suggest using something electric for this because
it'll take a lot of beating. We're just going to throw the butter in the bowl.
And the shortening.
And vanilla.
So I'm just turning it on and I'm putting...
While it's mixing, I'm just going to measure out the vanilla to add while it's beating. Actually, I'm not going to measure out vanilla because it's not open.
Okay, so now it's light and fluffy, and I'm going to add the 1 teaspoon of vanilla.
And then just beat it again.
And whenever you're measuring something, measure it over the bowl. or over something because you don't want it on the counter.
And not over the sink, because if you spill, a lot of it goes to waste. I just learned that confectioner's
sugar is also icing sugar. It's the same thing, just different names.
First, we're just gonna sift the sugar to make sure there's no lumps. Now we're going to gradually add the 2 tablespoons of milk. I need a funnel.
Huh?
I need a funnel?
No.
I'm really bad at pouring milk. Remember to scrape it all off the sides so it all gets evenly mixed. Make sure it's not too thick because we will have to pipe it. You have icing in your hair. Now we have our icing. Be sure to scrape it all off your mixing utensil.
So now I'm just going to add in some red food coloring to make a deep red or deep pink.
We don't have any brown food coloring, so we're going to use chocolate icing and add a little bit of ours to make it lighter. Okay, you're not a model. Come on, Vanna White, just put the icing in the bowl. Now that we have our 2 colors, we're gonna start decorating. We have disposable decorating bags, but you can also take a Ziploc, fold it, and snip off the end.
So if you're wanting to know how to set up a piping bag, you're gonna grab your tip, you're gonna measure out how tall it is, and you're gonna cut a little bit more, like ½ centimeter up more, and you can always cut off more, but you can't.
½ centimeter less.
Yeah. And then you just drop in the piping tip.
Oh, that's so smart!
So what I like to do to fill the icing is take a tall cup and then put the icing bag in it.
Scoop it up a little first so there's room for the icing.
And then fold over the edges. And open it. And then put the icing in this way. It makes it easier. Now I'm taking it out and unfolding it. When I take it,
Squeeze it right at the top.
squish it from where the icing starts all the way to the bottom. And you have your little thing. So now we're going to take our cupcakes and start making a design.
For our next cupcakes, which are going to be cute little mini pies, we're going to need different color Skittles. The colors can be whatever colors you want to put on your pies, but first we're just going to sort all our different colors into the different colors.
So we're just spreading them out, and then we're just going to take the colors and sort them.
We're using Skittles, but you can use whatever colorful candies you want.
You can use like M&Ms
Or Smarties.
I don't know if they have that outside of Canada, but they have them here, so.
For this one, you'll need the smallest circle you can find. You're only going to need about this much icing. Smile, you're in camera. What color are you going to do?
I'm going to do the red for my first one. So now you're going to take your icing and you're going to make like cross like this way and then
Crisscross lines, like a tic-tac-toe board. This is how mine looked after putting the crosses down.
So after you're done putting the crosses down, you're going to do a layer on the outside, just a circle or whatever shape.
Just to cover up the ends of the lines.
Yeah.
For my next one, I'm going to do green.
And I'm going to do orange. I have all my Skittles down, now I'm going to start doing the crisscross.
For your next cupcakes, you're going to need some Smarties.
Or M&Ms.
Smarties or M&Ms or Skittles again, but I suggest using something with chocolate in them.
So for this next one, you might need a parent's help for this, depending how old you are. But you're going to cut a hole in the center, but first you're going to just cut a hole in the center, kind of on a slanted angle, and then take it out and cut off the top.
And you're just going to make it so it's like a tube right through the center.
Make sure it doesn't go to the bottom. And then you're going to take some of your candy, and then you're just going to put it inside. And then you're going to take your little top that you had and you're going to put it back on. So you can't see that there's anything in there.
You're then going to get some more icing. It can be whatever color, but we don't have any more food coloring, so we're just going to do white. For this one, we're just using a round tip. Just don't show the side with the gap. Now we're gonna try our cupcakes. I'm gonna try one of the pink ones.
And I'm going to try one of the surprise ones.
Icing is good.
It just looks like a normal cupcake.
Whoa! They're really good. Okay guys, if you found the hidden fox, be sure to let us know in the comments. Also, tell us which cupcake idea you like the most. Thanks for watching. Bye! 1, 2, 3.
Mama told me not to waste my life. She said, spread your